Welcome to Beautiful Savior's Science Camp 2020, Science Camp in a Box. Our theme this year is quarantine, which I think you all know a little something about. We are going to be looking this week at how God quarantined some of his people throughout the Bible, and also about how there are germs around us and how they can sometimes make us sick, how we can be healthy. We'll learn some cool science facts along the way. So in today's Bible lesson, you learned that sin is everywhere. It's in our hearts, it's in our lives, it's in our relationships with God, our relationships with other people. Sin infects our lives, but thankfully, Jesus has taken our sin away. In today's science experiment, we will see that just as sin is all around us, germs are also all around us. If you have in your science box the science instruction sheet for the step-by-step steps to our experiment, you could get that out now. You can pause the video at any time, or you can just watch it and come back to the instructions later. Now, germs can be found just about anywhere, but some places have more germs than others. Germs come in four main forms: bacteria, mold, viruses, and protozoa. Today we'll be talking mostly about bacteria and mold. Now, where do germs live? And how do we know if germs are there if we can't see them? So our experiment is going to help us find out where germs may be hiding and what they might look like after they've been growing for a while. So if we use our scientific method, the first thing we did was we asked a question. Where do germs live, and what might they look like after they've been growing for a while? So first, after that, we're going to do a little research. And that's just going to be what you already know. So on your instruction sheet, there's an area where you can write down some things you already know about germs. For example, what are some places that you think germs might live in? What are some places that you think there might be a lot of germs? Or where might there be hardly any germs at all? Maybe take a minute or two and write down what you already know about germs in the research or what I already know section. You can pause the video for that. Once you're ready to continue, we will start our experiment. Now please note this experiment takes a whole week, so you'll want to plan ahead. First thing you want to do, after you get your question, your research, we're going to get out all of our materials. And what we have for this is we have our potato, okay? You're going to need an adult helper for this one because you are going to be using a sharp knife, or rather your adult helper will be using the sharp knife. You need some gloves from your kit. You're going to need 4 Ziploc bags, and you can use something to label the bags. So you could just write on the bags with a Sharpie marker. You could use some masking tape to write on it with a pen or a marker. You could just use a little slip of paper and tape that onto your bag, whatever works for you. Finally, next week, after your experiment is done, you'll want your adult helper to use some bleach to help kill those germs that you grew. We won't be using the bleach today. That's for next week after we are done growing our germs. All right, so now here is our procedure. The first thing you're going to do is your adult helper will go and wash his or her hands, and I already did that, so we're just going to say I'm done with that part. Now I'm going to put my gloves on, okay? It's a little tricky to get them on. Okay, once my gloves are on, I'm going to cut my potato into 4 equal pieces. You can cut it however you like. I'm just going to cut it in half, and then cut each half in half again. Okay, so now I have my 4 pieces of potato, and this is what we're going to use to grow our germs. The first piece I'm going to put it in my Ziploc bag. I'm not going to do anything to my piece of potato. I'm just going to put it right in there and seal it up, get the air out. And then I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to write control on that bag. The control is the part of the experiment that we don't do anything to. It's just to compare it to the other things later. So this is the piece of potato we did nothing to it, is our control potato. And we'll set that to the side. The second piece, you can rub all over some kind of surface, like a countertop, or inside a sink, or on a floor, anything that you think would be interesting to see where there might be germs living. So I already labeled one floor, and I have a piece of potato over here that I've already rubbed all over the floor. I'm going to put that one in. I have that one ready. The third piece, you want to take somewhere outside, and think of a good place to put it. You could put it in your flower bed or garden, or if there's a puddle, you could drop it into a puddle. That might be interesting. Or anywhere that you think would be a good place to kind of rub it outside. I put mine in my garden. Here it is. And I try to brush some of the dirt off so later we can see where things might be growing on it. So you don't want it to be too full of dirt. So seal that one up. And finally, the fourth one, we're going to take the gloves off. And I'm going to take my piece of potato, I'm going to touch it all over with my hands. Just rub your hands all over it. This will show kind of what kind of germs we have on our hands already, huh? Okay, I'm going to put it into the bag labeled hands or touched with hands, and that is my fourth potato. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 potatoes and we're going to put them into a cool, dark area for 1 week. And I'm going to go and put mine into my basement and just leave it down there and not look at them and just let them sit for a whole week. You don't want to peek. Don't open the bags and peek at them because there might be germs growing in there and you want to stay safe and healthy, so don't open the bags. Now, do you ever forget things? I know I do. So I'm going to set a reminder on my phone to check my bags in 1 week, in 7 days. And you might want to ask your helper to do the same thing. Set a reminder to check it in a week, or you can make a sign to put on your refrigerator that says, check potatoes on Monday, or whatever day you're doing your experiment. Again, don't peek and open the bags. You don't want the germs to get you sick. The last thing we're going to do today is record your hypothesis on your experiment instruction sheet. So once you find your sheet, find that part that says hypothesis. Hypothesis is an educated guess. It means, what do you think will happen? So which one of the potatoes do you think will have grown the most germs after a week? Write down your hypothesis, your educated guess. I think the potato that will grow the most germs will be this one. Also, which one do you think will grow the least amount of germs? And you can write that one down too. And later on, we will see what happens. So now we have to wait, and I will see you again in 1 week.